live and work in Brixton, so I feel very at home in this centre. I'm a teacher. I'm also an activist in the union, the NUT. And the reason I've been invited is because I took part in, and in fact initiated, something called Trade Unionists for Calais under the Stand Up to Racism organisation. I was with a delegation when Jeremy Corbyn visited in December the 13th, and Diane Abbott. We took them to Calais, to the refugee camp, with some other Stand Up to Racism activists. And when you go to Calais, to the camp, you kind of don't just go once. You go and then you think, what can I do to help, and how can I come back? So the first time I went there, I said, well, the next time I can come is in my half term. I'm a teacher. And so we booked to go in February half term. So 10 days ago, we were there in Calais, and I spent 10 days there. And we put it out on Stand Up to Racism, and we said, which trade unionists want to come to Calais? And we particularly wanted to put it through the trade unions, and I'll go into that a little bit in a while. But in the end, we had over 75 people who came with us over that period. Some just came for a day, but we had about 30 people that came pretty consistently, and I had 30 teachers. And we went into there was a school that has been set up that teaches adults and children. It's the most fantastic place. And people said to me when I've said this at a meeting, was it built by the French state? And I went, no. It was actually built by a guy from Newcastle who was an Afghani refugee who's now married to a woman who lives in Britain, who went to visit like I did and just wanted to help, and a Nigerian guy who now lives in Belgium, who both went to help, and they met each other and they said, let's build a school. And they have both left their families and their homes and just stayed in Calais, and they spent about 4 months building this beautiful, beautiful little school. You can see it on Facebook. We wrote a blog on the Stand Up to Racism website. Day 1, day 2, day 3, up to day 7. It's quite a long blog. Loads of photos, pictures of us teaching, pictures of the schools, and what happened. It was just fantastic. And I know when I came home on the train, I just wrote a comment on Facebook, and I said, in a refugee camp you see the best of humanity and you see the worst of humanity. You see that people are forced to live in these situations, people who have fled poverty, violence, war, and terrible situations, but you also see a massive effort to help. And there are literally thousands of volunteers who are in that camp, hundreds and hundreds every day, and you walk down the street. When I came back to Brixton, I walked down the street and I kept saying hello to everyone, because in a refugee camp you just walk past and you just say hello to everybody. It's a really warm atmosphere. You shake hands with everyone, you talk to everyone. And some of the teachers said to us, well, I came on this trip and I thought I was coming to help the people that are here, but in fact it's been a mutual exchange. We have made friends. People invite you into their humble places, their tents, their shacks, and give you a cup of tea, and they want to talk to you. It's an incredible experience. And you know, any kind of image that refugees are people that are, you know, looking for the easy life, or have are coming to sort of claim benefits and live a life of luxury. Oh my goodness me, people have put themselves and their families through terrible, terrible hardship, and they want to come to the UK. And everybody I met, they said, I've got a brother in Exeter, I've got a sister in Manchester, I've got family in the UK, and everybody has a connection. And you know, there are only 6,000 people, and really the message that we are saying as Trade Unionists for Calais, we want to put pressure through our trade unions, because we are big organisations with hopefully some power. And we want to say to our government, you could stop this problem right now and you could let these people in. And people have put a picture on Facebook of Jordan, which has got hundreds of thousands of refugees, compared to Cornwall, and it's about the same size, and they have got hundreds of thousands. We are just saying, do you know what, 6,000, we have easily got the room and we should do it. It's the political will that we need to make that happen. Just some of the people we met, as an Afghan woman who said to me, how come I am such an important person when it comes to dropping bombs bombs, and the governments want to spend millions dropping bombs to protect me in my country, but when I come to you and say, well, can I come to your country, suddenly I'm not so important anymore. You know, people have these messages, and certainly this week on Monday, I was in a meeting, and I was just, at lunch break, I looked on Facebook and I saw the demolition that had started in the camp, and I was sat in a pay briefing for my union, and I just burst into tears around the table, and everyone went, what's the matter? And I was like, oh my God, I cannot believe it. These are the places where we were 10 days ago, and the riot police with tear gas, there are children being tear gassed, there are families who stood on top of their sheds trying to protect them, and the Medicine Sans Frontières sheds are waterproof, they're watertight. We've spent 6 months, volunteers, getting people out of the mud, in the warmth, with a home, something that's like a home, and the riot police were just smashing them with hammers, and it was absolutely disgraceful to see. The judge did say you have to leave the school. So the school where we were has not been demolished, but it's in a sea of you know, broken homes that have been smashed down. It's an absolute disgrace, and I think what we need to do, you know, coming back, and we've already planned our next trip. The minute you say you're going to Calais, I think there is a mass of human warmth in this country towards refugees, and you just tap it by saying, I'm going to Calais, and my union office gets full literally from the floor to the ceiling when I say I'm coming to Calais, and people just bring me stuff, warm clothes, sleeping bags, and I got back from Calais and there were 6 sleeping bags on my table. People bring them, and people want to give, people want to help. So I think we have to tap into that human warmth and make it a political move and say we need to put pressure on our politicians. Anytime anyone says to you, you know, but I can't get any housing, so why should we let refugees in? You know, I turn around and say, well, the same people who are not letting the refugees in are the same, which is David Cameron, are the same people who are robbing you of a house, who haven't built council housing, who have caused. I mean, austerity has done very, very well for some people. The rich have got extremely rich, and I think I would say, you know, there are some places that we could look to for housing. So the trade unions are not in the business of saying we protect our wages, therefore refugees shouldn't come in. We say everybody is welcome, bring down the borders, and you know, we will fight for fair wages for all, and actually we will fight to stop creating refugees, stop launching wars, stop robbing countries of their natural wealth so that there is a refugee problem in the first place. And I'm from London, a city of migrants, a fantastic city, and I know you were talking about the NHS. It's a fantastic organisation, it's so well loved by people, and it is an organisation built by migrants who have made it as great as it is. Migrants do good for economies. They are some of the arguments that we should say, but just on a basic human level, we need to show solidarity for the people in Calais, solidarity for every refugee who is trying to make a better life for themselves.